kind of know that this might happen. My brother, this is something he's been waiting for.
Has Queen Camilla really lost her title as the Queen of England? It might sound unbelievable, but when it comes to royal drama, nothing is ever off the table, and the British royal family has long been a magnet for controversy. This latest scandal, however, has taken even the most seasoned royal watchers by surprise. Reports suggest that King Charles has stripped Queen Camilla of her title. Yeah, and it's not Prince William or even Prince Harry stepping into the spotlight this time. It's Princess Anne. So what could have led the king to make such a dramatic decision against his own wife? And what does this mean for the future of the monarchy? Once we hear the phrase royal family scandal, the first thing that comes to mind for many is secret affairs behind the palace walls, and many more scandalous activities no one keeps track of these days. But this latest scandal is not another episode of The Crown, but rather speculation and secret tension bubbling just beneath the surface of the British monarchy. For many, Queen Camilla's presence is the lingering shadow of one of the monarchy's greatest scandals that switched things up in the palace and rewrote royal history. While the famous affair between the then Prince Charles and Camilla remained the greatest scandal involving Queen Camilla, no one expected the next big blow: the Queen Consort losing her title. King Charles's decision to take the crown into a new era was not expected to cause public uproar, but since it involves his wife and, of course, his sister, Princess Anne, many are curious about what went down behind the walls of the palace. Had Queen Camilla done something that disqualified her as queen? What exactly drove King Charles III to take such a big step? And why was Princess Anne chosen for this position? King Charles's announcement. While we were worried about the declining health of King Charles III, especially his battle with cancer, something shocking was brewing. And during a recent nationally televised address from Buckingham Palace, the king allegedly announced that Queen Camilla will no longer hold the title of queen. Even though the news came as a shock to many, nothing could have prepared anyone for what came next. The question on every lip was, who would step into the new vacant role? If you guessed Prince Harry or William, you're totally wrong, as the role was passed to Princess Anne. Yes, you heard that right. The Princess Royal, who is often the most underrated member of the royal family, is allegedly now center stage. For many who had followed the royal drama, scandals, and health challenges like it was the world's longest-running reality show, this feels like the plot twist no one could have guessed. In this announcement, the king appeared solemn but resolute while he acknowledged the growing public unease surrounding the monarchy and the renewed need for stability, integrity, and service above anything else. But that wasn't a strong reason for the need to strip the queen of her title. So what went wrong? Why did the king, who was always overprotective of his wife, decide to make this daring decision? Although the details of this announcement remain unclear and mostly speculation for as long as the public is involved, most of the news causing uproars are speculations. Sources close to Buckingham Palace suggested that the reasons for King Charles's decision were the mounting public criticism of Camilla's reign and then Princess Anne's decades of service to the crown. It's no news that Camilla, who was formerly known as the Duchess of Cornwall, has been a controversial figure due to her affair with Charles during his marriage to the late Princess Diana. Even though the title of Queen Consort was once seen as a symbol of her redemption and acceptance, it's almost impossible to give her a clean slate, not with how deep the scandal was, and according to critics, the public will never fully embrace her. Now the chapter of Queen Camilla seems to be closing fast, and attention is shifting to the Princess Royal, Princess Anne, who might be the next Queen of England. Yet critics, the public, and everyone who knows the way the British royal succession works still can't wrap their heads around the fact that the king chose his sister. So, why did the king choose Princess Anne and not someone else? The unexpected queen. Why Princess Anne? Some might think the king favors his sister more than others. It's only natural to think so, but the truth is, Princess Anne is one of the monarchy's most dedicated and duty-driven members. If there's one way to describe her, it's that she has always been the quiet powerhouse of her family. She has a tireless work ethic and a no-nonsense attitude, so it's only natural for her to be referred to as the hardest-working royal. And while tabloids chased Harry and Meghan across the globe and were obsessing over Kate's wardrobe, Princess Anne kept her head down and got the job done. She made hundreds of public appearances every year without a single scandal pulling on her neck and had carried out thousands of engagements without media attention with over 5 decades of royal duties. Princess Anne has represented the crown in hospitals and war zones, and her quiet consistency has earned her the respect the modern monarchy so desperately needs. When the public is asked whom they trust, Princess Anne makes it to the list, not because she is flashy or has not been involved in scandals, but because she's reliable. She not only turned down titles for her children, she has refused unnecessary royal privileges and carries herself more like a soldier than a princess. Compare that to the silent whispers that have followed Queen Camilla since she came into the royal family. From day zero, Camilla's rise from a mistress to queen consort feels like a betrayal of the legacy of Princess Diana. And even though Camilla had to work extra hard to earn her place, there's a sense that it was given and not earned. But Anne? She never asked for a title, which, ironically, is the reason why people believe she deserves one. So, this should answer the question of why the king chose his sister. Her mind is in the right place, and if anyone is expected to do a good job as queen, it's definitely the Princess Royal. Now, before you jump to conclusions about the legal aspect of it, the king's decision did come with legal complexity. Here's the thing. The title of queen in the constitutional monarchy is typically reserved for the reigning monarch or their spouse. So, how's this arrangement expected to work? Well, according to royal experts, Parliament may soon move to redefine the role, which will allow Princess Anne to serve in a formal and symbolic capacity as the face of the crown. The king's decision, of course, has caused a mixed response from the public. While many are completely Team Princess Anne, celebrating her new role, others think the king shouldn't override centuries of established succession and consort protocols. To be honest, when people imagine royal shakeups, they picture scandals and not succession charts. But what if the biggest and most daring twist in the monarchy isn't who marries whom, but who wears the crown next? The line of succession. The royal line of succession as we know it is ironclad and is based on centuries of law, bloodlines, and constitutional tradition. This means that Prince William is next in line to the throne after his father. His son, George, follows him. So technically, Princess Anne is way down the list, even behind her younger brothers and her nieces and nephews. So how could she ever become queen? First, let's talk about precedent. The British monarchy can obviously bend under pressure. Do you remember King Edward VIII? He abdicated in 1936 just to marry his American lover, Wallis Simpson, who was a socialist and had been divorced twice. This, of course, was completely unacceptable to the British public, the government, or the Church of England. That single act threw the entire succession line into chaos and eventually placed Queen Elizabeth II on the throne. So, while it's rare for situations like this to happen, it's not impossible. Although the monarchy is rooted in tradition, it also survives by public approval, which means it has no real power without the support of the people and Parliament. So maybe, if the public demands it and Parliament agrees, the line of succession can be altered. There's no law that says it can't be restricted, it's just rare. Princess Anne is not in line, but she is in favor. She has become a national treasure, especially with her spotless record, unmatched work ethic, and decades of loyal service. So, maybe, just maybe, the Princess Royal is ready to become the queen people didn't expect but respected. And despite the controversies about successions and changing the law, people still think she will make an excellent queen. And as speculations about it continue to rise, people are becoming curious about what her role will be when she finally wears the crown. So, what exactly will be the role of Princess Anne as queen? The role of Princess Anne. Princess Anne was born in Clarence House in London on August 15, 1950, as the only daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. And as a royal, she was destined for a life of duty, but never a crown. After all, according to tradition, she was outranked even by her younger brothers in the line of succession. Even though she was royalty, the Princess Royal was sharp, tough, and fiercely independent. It's no wonder she is considered the hardest-working royal. In 2023, she undertook over 450 official engagements, more than anyone in the royal family, including King Charles III. Even though she may not be as popular as younger royals when it comes to the media, the princess has always been about action over headlines. She's often seen at events like military parades and agricultural shows. Princess Anne is a patron of over 300 charities, organizations, and military regiments, including the organization Save the Children, which has taken her to war zones, disaster-stricken nations, and refugee camps. She has worked with them for over 5 decades up until this moment, and her influence has helped many children. If Princess Diana was known as the People's Princess for her glamour and empathy, Princess Anne was known for her grit, humility, and substance. While she is widely known for her royal duties, did you know she had a passion for equestrianism? Back in 1976, she made history by becoming the first British royal to compete in the Olympics, representing the United Kingdom in Montreal as part of the equestrian team. If you thought that was awesome, wait until you hear about her impressive military endeavors. Princess Anne's military credentials are not just ceremonial like many might think. She holds ranks in the Royal Navy and Royal Air Force and has visited countless troops across the world. She has deep respect for the armed forces, and that contributed to the respect and admiration showered on her within the military circles and the public in general. Back in 2022, during the funeral of Queen Elizabeth II, she played a visibly important role and even stood guard in the Vigil of the Princes. When it comes to being a mother, she completely aced it, and unlike the other royal parents, she refused to give her children, Peter and Zara, royal titles because she wanted them to live as normal lives as possible. It was a bold and daring move that earned respect. Despite being second-born, Princess Anne was third in line to the throne at birth, well until male heirs were born, pushing her further down the list. Today, she's 16th in the line of succession, which means she's nowhere near the throne. But lately, something strange has happened, something almost impossible. There have been some speculations that King Charles III had stripped Queen Camilla of her title, and the torch of succession has been passed to Princess Anne. If this too-good-to-believe announcement becomes a real thing, what would her reign look like? Would it be traditional or represent a quiet revolution within the world's oldest monarchies? The princess values substance and might, and if crowned, her reign will be a mix of tradition and a focus on service and humility. She is expected to bring military precision and organizational efficiency to the royal family. Under her reign, the monarchy would likely be stripped of unnecessary grandeur and redirected toward meaningful work. With her deep roots in philanthropy, she would likely emphasize social impact and community engagement, and might champion meaningful causes like education, veterans' welfare, and climate action. One thing she would surely do is streamline the monarchy by cutting down unnecessary expenses, slimming down the royal household, and focusing on things that actually make an impact. One thing is for sure, she wouldn't be the grandmotherly monarch like her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, nor would she be the reformist outsider that some hoped Harry or Meghan could become. The effect of Princess Anne would be global if she rose to power. Her mother was well respected across borders. She too might be able to do so. She will be the working-class, no-nonsense queen who is blunt, efficient, and always ready to get the job done efficiently. Even though speculations about the entire thing have been all over the place, people are still very much curious about the king's reason for stripping Queen Camilla of her title. Could it be as a result of the scandal Camilla has been drowning in for a decade, or is there more to it? The crown cracks. Camilla loses title. For many years, Camilla Parker Bowles had one goal, and it was to win the public's acceptance after she was tagged as the other woman during Charles' troubled marriage to Princess Diana. Her name made it to the top chart of scandals and controversies. No one was interested in hearing her side of the story. I mean, no one would want to listen in a situation like hers. However, time and steady royal presence eventually softened the public's perception, and by the time King Charles ascended the throne, Queen Camilla had been rebranded as a dignified queen consort. But the past has a way of resurfacing when you least expect it. In recent times, there have been some rumors of undisclosed affairs, manipulations within the royal family, and some whispers that Camilla had more influence over King Charles than the public even realized. And with the monarchy under constant scrutiny from younger generations and political critics, the cracks began to widen, and then came the breaking point. According to an insider, King Charles allegedly became deeply concerned that Camilla's lingering scandals were beginning to overshadow the crown. Plus, with the calls for reform growing louder and the popularity of the monarch slipping, King Charles made a bold decision to remove Camilla from the throne. There have also been rumors that the king intends to divorce Queen Camilla. This rumor of their marital discord was often fueled by their unconventional relationship history and the intense scrutiny that came with royal life. According to some verified reports, in 2018, the Queen demanded a fast-track divorce from the then Prince Charles. This tension between them had escalated to the point where Queen Camilla threatened to reveal sensitive royal secrets if her demands were not met. After much back and forth, the couple managed to reconcile without initiating any formal proceedings. Recently, King Charles's health struggles have also put a strain on their marriage, and according to some reports, the Queen has been urging the king to prioritize his well-being, especially with the growing cancer, but the king has been reluctant to heed medical advice and reduce his workload, which is increasingly frustrating to his wife. Even their living arrangements suggest the couple is having marital issues. Reports suggest that Queen Camilla often retreats to her private residence, Ray Mill House in Wiltshire, on weekends while the king stays at Highgrove House. This separation, according to royal circles, allowed both of their individual personal spaces, but they are royals, and observers will always think otherwise about their every move. Although rumors of a possible divorce keep making headlines and keep the people talking, Buckingham Palace has not issued any statement about it, adhering to its policy of refraining from commenting on personal matters. Which means these claims remain just rumors, and since the royal family prefers privacy when it comes to their personal lives, I guess we will never know what is going on until it is announced. For now, let's turn our focus to the speculations about Princess Anne's new role as the Queen. What does it mean for the future of the monarchy? The future of the monarch. Let's face it, if Princess Anne is crowned the new Queen Consort of England, it will get the entire royal family talking, and not everyone will like the idea. According to some speculations, the king's controversial announcement, the one about giving his sister the title of Queen Consort, completely caught Prince William off guard. While he certainly respects his aunt, he fears that this power play could disrupt decades of planned succession. He thinks that Princess Anne becoming queen, even in a consort or ruling capacity, could bring unnecessary complications for the smooth transition he has been preparing for. However, according to a palace insider, Williams recognizes the political significance of this decision and has faith in his aunt's ability to make things better. King Charles's decision means one thing: the monarchy must evolve, and their survival depends on trust and not just tradition. The other members of the royal family might have accepted the king's decision, or perhaps they kept their opinions to themselves. Who knows? People believe that Queen Camilla will undoubtedly give the most emotionally charged response, even though she has remained silent about it. Her journey to the throne has not been an easy one, and now that she has finally earned her place beside King Charles, she is now confronted by rumors that her title could be revoked and her presence sidelined in favor of Princess Anne. For many years, the Princess Royal didn't think Queen Camilla would make a good queen consort, so replacing her would add fuel to the blazing fire, and no one would be able to put it out. At this point, it's obvious that the king's decision is not going to sit well with Queen Camilla, and as of now, no one knows what her next step will be. As the speculations keep rising fast, the idea of the Princess Royal as queen feels both shocking and unlikely, maybe because no one expected it. One thing is for sure, the global media would feast on the power shift. Some will celebrate her as a feminist icon, others will see it as a desperate attempt to save the crown. Either way, Princess Anne's reign will surely dominate headlines and spark several debates. This move might remind the world just how fragile the monarchy really is, or maybe not, but we do know one thing. If Princess Anne takes the crown, the world will never be the same. The monarch would never look the same again, and maybe that's exactly the point of it. Who knows? For now, all we can do is watch and see if this speculation eventually becomes the reality that seems almost unbelievable. Maybe Princess Anne has hope of becoming a queen someday, despite being 16th in line to the throne. What do you think about King Charles's announcement? Do you think Princess Anne would make a good queen? Tell us in the comments below. Don't forget to click on the next video on your screen, like this video, and subscribe to our channel for more updates.